So this Sunday it was special. We planned a ride to Polo Forest, which is around 140 kilometers from Ahmedabad. Overall, we had 300 kilometers worth of trip planned. So we started from Ahmedabad, and this recording started from Polo Forest entrance. So we have a Xpulse owners group, XOG we call, and we around had 9 riders. And one surprise was uh, Suzuki V-Storm 250. So the dealership guys had sent their 2 people along with bike so that they can provide us that bike for test ride and get our feedback how Xpulse owners who Xpulse basically are the real adventure bikes, real off-roader bikes. Everyone knows. So we got the opportunity to test ride V-Storm also at a later stage. But yeah, talking about this ride to Polo Forest, we expected it will be rainy weather, and the forecast was also for rains, and we thought that forest it will be there was rain already happened last week. We thought that okay, the rivers will be full flowing with water and the weather will be nice, but it turned out exactly opposite. It was very hot and humid. Specifically, humidity was very high. Walking 500 meters also was making us totally drenched in wet. So that was a difficult part. We could not explore much. Best thing we found out was riding our bike through those forests. Lush green forest was the best thing. We did some photography around shaded area, densely shaded area. And this particular point, I just want to say that that's now not the way sunroof should be used. So make sure sunroof is just for getting good air inside your cabin, not for people to go outside and take their heads outside. So again, continuing the ride. So we are about to reach Polo Forest, main entrance of the Polo Forest. Nearby it's all villages. Once you cross the checkpost, the dense forest starts. So Polo Forest is very dense forest as compared to other forests like Gir. Gir has got good coverage of teak wood, but it is not dense as Polo Forest, and it is very lush and green. Talking of bikes performance, Xpulse is amazing. I mean, it will surprise you every time you take it out for a long ride. It can do off-roading like it's like built for that thing. We all know that thing. It floats on off-roads, like when there is no roads, when it's like sand, beat, rocks. Xpulse performs exceptionally well. But when it comes to highway performance, there are people saying that it's underpowered or something. But to be honest, Xpulse is amazing on highways as well. Cruising at 90 to 100 kmph is nothing for Xpulse, and it glides like anything. And controls, the brakings are amazing. I mean, the ABS works really well in this case. This very great bike. I mean, I have ridden 4,000 kilometers and totally in love with this bike, and I hope complete Ladakh trip as well on this bike. So inside Polo Forest, apart from small hills and lush green forest, you'll also find good water streams, which are like it's a part of Harnav River. But unfortunately, this time it was hot. I mean, just after summers, all the dam reservoir is drenched out, and the water levels are very less. But if you go after monsoon, you will find a very good water level. So this is our Xpulse group and all the bikes, and we are chatting about how it is performing. These are our group members. Very fun group to ride with, and all nice people. Makes a journey very memorable for us. Even though the conditions were hot and humid, we enjoyed it thoroughly. The ride was exceptional. Good use of Sunday. I mean, this at least it changed the perspective. I mean, complete week you slog your ass through the corporate life, your office work, your personal space, everything. So riding is like something which is which you do for yourself. It is a meditation. I mean, it involves just you and your bike. So this is fun part. So again, you can see this dense forest, and this is small water stream. was able to capture one beautiful common kingfisher here also. And if you are interested in birding, so there is a lot of grey hornbills available in Polo forest, which are not so common in the city areas, but in Polo forest if you go, you will be able to find hornbill also. So here I was taking a small stroll on my bike to the forest, and you can see the Xtom, our team, taking their turns to try and see how the bike is. I will also take the ride and I'll share my feedback while taking the ride with you guys. Early morning smell of forest is amazing. It cannot be expressed in words. I mean, you have to be there to feel that. We started from Ahmedabad around 4:30 in the morning, and we reached comfortably by 8 a.m. We had a breakfast stop at Eder, which is around 40 kilometers from Polo forest, and early morning the weather was beautiful. It was the smell of the forest was great, and as I told, it had rained a couple of days back, so the soil was moist, the forest was moist, and there are a lot of moisture in the air actually, which as the heat went up during the day turned out into humidity, and that was killing, literally killing. I think we tried to trek for around a kilometer with all our riding gears and the packages in our hand, and we were totally drenched in sweat. It was so that, and at some point of time we felt dehydrated, and while having lunch I must have gulped around 2 or 3 liters of water, but still I was feeling like okay, dehydration has kicked in, and while going back we had to fill ourselves up with all this soft drinks and sugary drinks, so that we can have the energy back, so that we can ride our home. So at this point you can see there's a small good clean water around the forest. So I think this particular area is near to the dam, the reservoir, so the water here is cleaner as compared to the later parts. So I think foraging into this particular area is not safe. This forest is inhabited by sloth, deer and leopards. They are in numbers, so that has to be taken care. This particular road, it goes through the forest, and from Polo forest it goes to the Vijayanagar. It's an old city in the northern part of Gujarat. You can see there is a dargah also inside the forest, so I think religion reaches nooks and corners. So here my friend Pranav is trying to take a picture for me. I should get that picture later on. So now here it's my turn for test riding the V-Storm. It's basically Gixxer only. They have done the fairing. They have somehow increased the ground clearance, but the travel suspension travel is same, and so you don't feel like you're riding a proper adventure bike. It's like a pseudo crossover. So you can say like today we call Creta and other crossovers as SUV. So in real terms it's not a sports adventure bike, it's basically a tourer bike with same engine specification. So riding wise also you feel like the engine is same. It needs to be revved high to reach that for initial run. I am not sure how it's going to perform in Ladakh, but I think Gixxers have gone to Ladakh and they have done well, so I think that will be fine. But if you just want to take it proper off-roading, that will not work, I believe. And plus it's on the heavier side, and it is not as nimble as Xpulse 200. I mean, Xpulse is an amazing bike. It is, on paper it looks very simple bike, small bike, not much specification, but when you get to ride that and on a longer term, you come across it as a jack of all trades. It can do touring properly, it can do highway rides, it can off-roading. It's master, no doubt about that. Off-roading Xpulse is master. It's a lightweight bike, you can easily pull it up if you have a good fall. And I mean, riding ergonomics, just change the handlebar or put the risers, it will give a damn amazing riding ergonomics. So not a single person in our group was impressed with Gixxer. So we concluded our trip doing some off-roads on the dried bed of Vinaj Reservoir, and we head back to our homes by the evening. It was a thunderstorm we had to face while coming back, but it was a great trip by two end.